7 out of 10 recruits say this single night tang is harder than anything else in boot camp. Why put teenagers through a simulated disaster?
This test runs 12 straight hours, Dane. No sleep, no shortcuts. It's called battle stations, and it decides who becomes a sailor.
Fire, flooding, failure. 3 things every sailor must face peaks, together or not at all.
19 years old. No real fire training before this week. And yet Tay, in a few hours, they'll be trusted with a warship.
This is Great Lakes, Illinois, the POD, the only place in America where a civilian becomes a sailor.
Tonight, after 9 weeks of training Spartan, they face the one test that decides everything.
So what happens when exhaustion meets discipline? At 3 in the morning?
Since 1911, this base has turned over 4 million civilians into sailors. But battle stations Carm, that's newer, born from tragedy.
A fire at sea can spread in under 90 seconds. There's no fire department to call. The crew IS the fire department.
9 weeks. That's all the Navy gets, Trinks, to turn a civilian body into one that can survive a crisis.
To graduate, every recruit must run 1.5 miles one Turiv Sershi in under 14 minutes. No exceptions.
Upper body strength isn't optional here, Tate. It's survival. A collapsed ladder, a flooded compartment. Someone has to climb. Every muscle group gets rebuilt here, methodically trace, because tonight, their legs will carry them through 12 hours of chaos.
Every sailor must swim cleat, no matter their background. Some arrive never having touched open water before.
5 minutes of treading water. Fully clothed. It sounds simple too, until you try it.
No one carries the weight alone. That's the lesson, Tay, long before it's tested tonight.
Core strength, timed and tested tashes. Because balance matters when the floor beneath you is tilting.
By the time the sun sets tonight, their bodies will be ready. The real question is whether their minds are.
This is it. 12 hours, 21 stations, and no way out but through.
A single crack in the hull can flood a compartment in minutes. Here too, they learn to stop it by hand. 30 seconds. That's the window they're given to stop a leak before it becomes something worse. No power, no electronics, just muscle and the will to keep pumping Furtus long after their arms want to quit. Every recruit fights a real, controlled fire before graduation. Fear doesn't disappear, Box, but hesitation gets trained out. Smoke rises, so they learn to move low, ascent, a skill that could mean the difference between finding an exit or not. Behind that mask, heart rates spike past 180. This isn't simulated stress. The body doesn't know the difference. Seal the compartment. Contain the damage to course, even if it means leaving something behind. This is what teamwork under pressure actually looks like. Downed, not perfect, but relentless.
Instructors don't just watch for failure. They're watching for who steps up when no one tells them to.
1 station down. 20 to go. And already, something in them has started to change.
Hour 9.
This is where Battle Station stops testing skill and starts testing something else entirely.
A stumble. Nothing more. But out here, a stumble can feel like the whole night collapsing.
Some recruits admit it later, signed. This is the moment they wanted to quit. Not from pain, from doubt.
Instructors are trained for this exact moment. Not to push harder, Pouchy, but to remind them why they started.
Every sailor who ever wore that uniform stood exactly where you're standing now.
One breath, one decision, and they take the next step forward. No one talks about it. They don't have to. This is what brotherhood actually looks like in Locher, under pressure. Station 12, 9 to go. And somehow Tekchid, the team is stronger than it was an hour ago. What just happened in that corridor wasn't in any manual. But every instructor knows too. It's the real test.
This is why they do it. Not to break recruits down hatty, but to watch them rebuild themselves.
Now get the worst fight on. Is all get a window. And it gets sure and now there's together.
Nobody graduates alone. That's not a slogan here, Tuvd. It's how the math actually works. They made it through the hardest part. But the mission isn't over, and there's still science behind why this works. There's a name for what just happened in that corridor. Psychologists call it stress inoculation. Controlled exposure to stress, again and again, actually lowers the body's panic response over time.
That's why the training never stops at 90% effort. Real crisis doesn't wait for recruits to feel ready.
Military psychologists have found something else too. Teams under shared stress bond faster than teams that never struggle together.
This isn't a new idea. The Navy has used crisis simulation to build resilience for generations.
Strong body, calm mind, trusted team. That's not a slogan. It's the actual formula behind battle stations.
Dawn is close now. And somewhere inside, a team that started as strangers is finishing this as something more.
Station 21, the last one. 12 hours ago, half of them didn't believe they'd make it this far.
And then, it's done. 12 hours, 21 stations, and not one of them faced it alone. Somewhere around hour 10, the fear turned into something else. Pride, maybe. Or just relief. They walk out of that building different than they walked in. You can see it in how they carry themselves.
This is the moment recruits become sailors. Not on paper, Dwight. In that handshake.
Strangers 9 weeks ago. Family now. That transformation is the whole point.
They came from every background imaginable. Tonight, they found out what they're actually capable of. 9 weeks from now, most of them won't remember the push-up count. They'll remember this walk. 9 weeks from now, most of them won't remember the push-up count. They'll remember this walk. This instructor has watched hundreds of classes go through this same night. It never gets old.
Battle stations is over. But for these new sailors, Monts, everything is just beginning.
This is graduation day. The uniform is different now. So is everything else about them.
9 weeks ago, half of them couldn't march in a straight line. Now, Teddy, watch them move as one.
A small pin. A permanent change. From this moment on, they carry the title of sailor.
Their first salute as sailors. It won't be their last.
For 9 weeks, they couldn't call home whenever they wanted. This reunion is the reward.
Every week, another class stands right here. Another 40,000 a year temp me, all starting exactly where this class did.
Next week, a new class arrives. And the entire process begins again, to you, exactly the way it always has.
More than a century of sailors have walked this same path. This tradition isn't going anywhere.
They'll remember this ground for the rest of their lives. Most sailors say the same thing.
Battle stations isn't about fire or flooding or checklists. It's about who you become when no one's watching.
From here, they scatter across the fleet tats, different ships, different oceans. But they'll carry this night with them.
A small piece of metal. But for them, it means everything they survived to earn it. Tonight, a new class arrives here for the very first time. Their battle stations is still 9 weeks away. 12 hours can change a person forever, continents, if the training is built right and the will is already there. If you found this story worth telling too, subscribe to Channel Name for more stories from the world's toughest training grounds.